Good morning, friends. Let's talk about the advanced questions of syllogism. So today again I'll talk about syllogism, but now we'll refer only to some advanced questions where you have either or in the exam. So there are some questions which involve either or, right? Advanced questions of syllogism. So what type of questions can we have? Let me give you an example. I hope everyone has watched the previous video where I taught the basics of syllogism, how to attempt the basic question of syllogism. Without viewing that video, it's impossible to understand the tricks which I'll be telling you today. So my advice, have a look at the previous video first of all, understand the basics of syllogism which I have taught, the tricks, the shortcuts, and then view this particular video. So let's have a sample question. The question says there are two statements given by the author. Now the first statement says some chairs are tables. First statement says some chairs are tables. And we have a second statement which says some tables are doors. You can fabricate your own questions as well. It's not necessary. I'm just giving you a random example to make you understand. Now the following conclusions are given based upon these two statements, right? Now the first conclusion says some doors are chairs. Some doors are chairs. No chair is a door. I need to find out whether I can infer any one of these or I can infer both of them, or my third option says, which is the most important, either first or second. I hope everyone understands the meaning of word either. Either the first is true, so that means if first is true, second is false, or the second is true and the first is false. Both cannot be true, right? And the last option says no conclusion can be drawn. Now friends, we need to figure out which of these two is correct. Yeah, so which of these four options make sense? Again, one traditional way to do the question would have been to draw a Venn diagram. Now how do you draw a Venn diagram for it? That becomes a lengthy method, right? Now how do I draw a Venn diagram for it? One way is some chairs are tables. So I'll put one Venn, one circle for chairs. Some of the chairs are tables. Second statement says some tables are doors. Some tables are doors. So some of the tables are doors, right? Then this is one possibility. I can draw the same Venn diagram, same statements in a different Venn diagram also. Some chairs are tables. So some chairs are tables. Yeah, that's one way. Some tables are doors. Some tables are doors. So he never says that chair cannot be a door. Some tables are doors. This can be another way of drawing it. Yeah, some tables are doors. So we can have one circle for chair, one circle for table, and then another circle for doors. This can also be a possibility. So there becomes many possibilities to draw the Venn diagram, and then one by one you need to figure out with all the three. It again varies, it's relative. Some of you feel very comfortable with the Venn diagram, but once you hear out what I'm going to say, that will give you an answer in 5 seconds. Here you still wasting 40 seconds, right? Although that's an authentic way, that's the traditional method to solve the question Venn diagrams. There's nothing bad in it, right? You can draw the Venn diagrams and then check the options, but the point is it's all about time management. It's all about stress management in the exam. Once I am confident, I know the shortcuts, even to draw the Venn diagram will not make any sense. Now let's put down the values as we heard in the last video. What do the value says? If we have a statement starting with sum, I need to assign 50 and 50. Again second statement with sum, so I need to assign 50 here also, 50 here also. The first conclusion, some doors are chairs, so 50 and 50. Second, no. Now it's statement starting with no. I hope you remember when a statement starts with no, I need to put up 100 and 100. Right? So I need to now check which of the options is correct. Let's go one by one. The first, some doors or chairs. Is the first option correct? Some doors are chairs. The first option says some doors are chairs. It is 50, it is 50. It's dealing with doors and chairs. Let's go back. Hanji, some doors and chairs. So doors is here, chairs is here. So that means I need to combine the statements. And once I need to combine the statements, I need to look at the common word as we discussed in the last video. The common word is tables, right, bache? But the common word has value of 50 in both the cases. And our shortcut says, if you remember the last video, the tables, the common word should have at least one value as 100. So this is the common word. So first is ruled out. Is that okay? Now the second statement says no chair is a door. Do I need to even check the second statement? Not at all. Both the statements are positive. This is also a positive statement. This is also a positive statement. Positive and a positive always gives a positive conclusion. So I need not even waste time checking the values. Although you can check the values, this also contradicts. But this is a negative conclusion, which is not possible. This is also true. Now comes the main game. I am done with first and second as per the shortcuts learned in the last video. How do I ensure that this is true? Right. Now write down the shortcut for either or statement. The shortcut for either or statement says both the conclusions should be false, as was there in this question. Both the conclusions should be false, right? That's the first part. The elements used in the options, elements used in both the conclusions should be same, and the third, if the elements are same, right, then you need to check that one of the conclusions should be positive and the other conclusion should be negative. If all these three satisfy, blindly mark the answer option as either or. Yes, there is no exception. Right? So that's the Ramban for such questions. If both the conclusions are false, that's one. Second shot, you need to verify the elements in both the conclusions should be same, and one conclusion should be positive, the other conclusion should be negative. Let me verify all the three. Both the conclusions are false. The elements here is door and chair. The element here is also door and chair, no matter what is the order. Right? So the elements is same. The conclusions are false, and one of them is a positive conclusion, the other is a negative conclusion. So what is the answer option, guys? Either first or second. I need not even go to the last one. Is that clear to everyone? Very, very important shortcut. Right, I repeat once again. Before marking either or, right, so we are not drawing Venn diagram at all. Yeah, before marking it, you need to verify that your both the conclusions, if you know any of the conclusions is true, then you need not to even go to either or. If any of the conclusions is true, this is only valid if both are false, the elements is same, and one is positive, other is negative. Simple. Yeah. So if I just summarize it, both the conclusions should be false, elements should be same, one conclusion should be positive and the other conclusion should be negative. If all these three verify, the answer is always either or. Yeah. So that's about it. So that's the advanced version of syllogism. So you can have such questions in campus placements, in CAT, in GMAT, GRE, or bank PO or government jobs. You name the test, syllogisms can appear anywhere. It's purely a reasoning question, right? Logical reasoning. How do you think out of the box? In the next video, I'll talk about much higher difficulty level of syllogism, where we'll talk about the possibility cases, the options using can, possibility, or is it possible. That's the most difficult part of syllogism that we'll cover in the next video. Thank you.